To read verse 21 again in Ephesians chapter 5, verse 21. It says, submitting yourselves one to another in the fear of the Lord. Now, when he said that, he was not just writing to those who are married, but he was talking about submission in general. In other words, whether you work for somebody, you ought to be submitted to them. If you're in a local church, you should be submitted to the church leadership. You should be submitted to the laws of the land. So Paul was expressing all the different sectors of society. When authority has been established and recognized, then we all have a role to submit. However, there is another aspect of submission that speaks to the family or marriage. And so we understand right in verse 22, Paul comes right down and then he says, wives. He clearly distinguished this form of submission. He says, wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands as unto the Lord. You see, where we all get confused, he says, as unto the Lord. He didn't say because he deserves it or when he does what I want him to do. No, he says, as unto the Lord. Now, it's important to understand when I use the term marital submission, a husband submit to his wife's need. I want you to put that up on the board. A husband submits to a wife's need. That's hard because there are so many. And we need God's grace to be able to respond to all of those needs. Some needs is not even understood. So that's why we need the grace of God. But the wife submits to her husband's lead. Man, that's a good place to say amen. If you can't go home, you can come and have dinner with me. A husband submit to his wife's needs. And it takes a real man to do that. So it means he must turn away from his own interests and concern himself with her interests. See, that's why I say marriage is about submission. It's in other words, you're giving up your will for the cause of Christ that you may please God, and in so doing you will be pleasing your spouse. So a husband submits to his wife's needs, and a wife submits to her husband's lead. She don't go into the bank and start signing and call you and says, yeah, we got a house. Or go and fill out the loan application, so you just moving too slow. I touched something there.